And we have a champion.
And that's time.
And we're done.
15 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Can anyone get a score? Just trying to figure out probably which one of those might have an early winner, because again, we're trying to find the throw.
Oh, Morgan's got it. Morgan Carr. Morgan Carr is the Excel czar. Morgan Carr, a superstar.
Oh, love it.
He comes to cell number 30 in the movement number 8. Then next time he goes back 3 cells and probably goes forward 2 cells or something like that. What's going to happen next? If she has received one answer correctly, if she's able to get all the numbers done, and the first one is correct, actually, she's copying the formulas. If she's able to do that the right way, she's going to be getting 1,000 points straight away, and there's going to be a clear win there. That's quite a lot.
Ooh,
oh my God, how about the score?
Points. So Gabrielle has taken the lead in this match. She's clearly fixed up one of her formulae. We can see that she's managed to solve quite a lot of problems now. So now the pressure is on Anup in the last minute to see if he can catch up those last few questions he needs to get back ahead and retake the lead.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Wow, wow, wow. That was an amazing, amazing match. Oh my gosh.
It looks as though Joseph's actually pulled ahead over Diarmid at 550.
There are many software, cloud, and technology providers, but there's only one who brings it all together to move business forward. Software One. Because who we are makes what we do better. Determined and tenacious, we are driven to deliver. Gathered from all over the world with diverse expertise, global perspectives, and the grit to get things done. We are thousands strong. One company, all in. Our way transcends technology. It's smarter than just software. We bring deep, data-driven insight together with people who can guide every facet of your journey, from where you've been to where you need to be. An expertise like no other, because no one else can act on software and cloud intelligence like we do. End to end, side by side, building better outcomes. All in one. Software One.
Hello, hello, and here we are. Wow, hi Tim.
Hey Danielle, how are you?
Good, good. Here we are. It is the last 32 and the last 16 for the Microsoft Excel World Championship. It is getting closer. It is getting really, really exciting. How are you feeling, Tim? Are you excited about tonight?
Oh, I'm excited. I'm really excited about tonight. We've got some really great participants, a lot of familiar names. Looking through the participants, we've got our double defending champion back. Glad to host him again. And yeah, no, this is going to be a great night. Cases are great, participants are great. I should say, we say night, but it is daytime in
Yes,
London
it
at the
is,
moment. People are watching from around the world.
It is 9 a.m. in London and it is 8 p.m. here in Sydney. So my name is Danielle Stein-Fairhurst. I'm a financial modelling specialist and I'm one of your hosts for this evening. I'm going to say this evening because Tim and I are both here in Sydney. So Tim Heng is a Microsoft MVP, also based in Sydney. He is an Excel and financial modelling specialist. He's also an esports guru. So I'm very, very happy to be here together with you again, Tim. We've done this a couple of times now, so we should kind of know how it goes.
That's it. And all those things you can say pretty much about yourself as an Excel MVP, a financial modeling specialist, esports guru, as it may be now. So,
Yes.
We're back.
Yes, that's true. We're back.
Fantastic event.
So what's happening tonight is we have got 8 participants who are waiting in the wings. We're about to meet them. They are going to go head to head tonight, and a couple of them are going to make it to the finals. And the finals are in person in Las Vegas. They are coming up on the 9th of December. It's really exciting. It's going to be in an esports stadium. It's going to be such an exciting event. And those who come out on top tonight have got a ticket to Las Vegas. So, yeah, shall we meet the participants? I think it might be time to meet them. Here they are. Hello. All right, so let's introduce the participants. First up, we've got Andrew Nye. Now, Andrew is one of the top participants in the Financial Modelling World Cup and also in the Microsoft Excel World Championships. So he is rather a superstar in the Excel world. He is actually also, I noticed, going to be one of the speakers at the conference coming up. So as part of the finals coming up in Las Vegas, we've also got the Active Cell conference, which goes for a couple of days, and there's going to be some fantastic speakers, including Andrew Nye. So how are you feeling tonight, Andrew? You're in tonight? Yes, it's Sydney. You're in Sydney, right? So
yeah, I'm in Sydney. It's
yeah. How are you feeling?
Nice to not be doing it at 4 a.m.
Yes, for a change. You all set to go? You are up against Sergio this evening. Sergio is joining us from Italy. So how are you going, Sergio? Are you ready to take on the great Andrew Nye? How are you feeling?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, it's my first time in the Microsoft Excel World Championship. It's really tough to be against Andrew this time, so I'm very excited and a bit scared.
Yes, I bet you are. So welcome. It's wonderful to see a couple of new faces as well. It's really good to see some of our reigning champions back and also a couple of new faces. We've got Timothy Shu also joining us from New Zealand. How are you doing, Timothy?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's nighttime here like it is in Australia, so yeah.
Yeah. And you are up against Alphonse. Hi, Alphonse. You're joining us from Spain.
Yes, hello. Good morning,
Hello.
Tia. Looking forward to this interesting morning in Spain or evening in Australia or New Zealand. Let's see what comes out of it.
Yes, welcome. I might let you introduce the rest of the competitors, Tim.
Yeah, sure. In the third bracket tonight, we have Elliot and Jakub. So, Elliot, welcome from the UK. How's it all going?
There we go. That's embarrassing, isn't it? Sorry to everyone watching. Yeah, no, really exciting. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, really excited to be here. Jakub's a very strong competitor, so we'll just have to see who does better.
All right, Jakub, what do you have to say to that? Some high praise from your opponent.
Yeah, let's hello everybody. Happy to be here, and yeah, let's see who's gonna have more luck with the case today. And yeah,
Yeah, it's always tricky to predict. Like even the best players get get caught up in some of these things. I know Diamond's always had trouble getting past this round in previous versions of the Excel World Championships. So the field is open. And for our final bracket, we have Stevenson Year from the Philippines, I believe, and Harry Gross from the UK. Stevenson, welcome back. It's nice to see you at these events again.
Yeah, good to be back.
And Harry, I've seen you up on this side of the brackets before. Ready for a great match?
Yeah, can I just say it's much easier to host it than it is to be a contestant, or that's how it feels right now anyway.
I'd agree with that. Yeah. So Harry was one of the hosts for the last live stream. So well done for being a competitor, a host, and also for authoring one of the cases. So Harry is one of the rising superstars in the Excel world as well.
Honestly, I'm just aiming to get more than 0.
I'm sure you'll do more than that. Okay, I think it must be time to take a look at our very first case for today.
Excel World Championship 2023 with the finals taking place in HyperX Esports Arena, Las Vegas in December. We are glad to present you the case for round 3, Vlooky, designed by Andrew Grigoljunovic, the founder of the tournament. Vlooky is a little dwarf. Every morning he wakes up, brushes his teeth, eats breakfast, and goes to work in a mine. He works in a mine for the whole day, collecting gems, gold, and other useful minerals. In the evening, he typically returns back home and trades the collected minerals for coins. Sometimes he is also helped by his brother, X-Looky. The mine is a square 39 by 39 cells. The map of the mine is presented on a separate tab named Mine. On levels 1 to 3, the entrance to the mine is from cell U2, and it is depicted by a different color. On levels 4 to 5, the entrance to the mine can be at any cell. If a dwarf needs to move through a non-empty cell, it takes him 1 hour to extract all the minerals from the cell and to move on, except some special cases with iron and magnet. If a cell is empty, then dwarves move through it instantly. A cell can be empty by default or due to a dwarf extracting it previously. Both dwarves have 100 units of health power. Collecting mercury and uranium could bring extra coins, but hurts their health. Healing 1 health power costs 10 coins. This is a playoff round, so your goal is to score more points than your opponent. The case has 5 levels of difficulty and 3 bonus questions, giving a total of 1,250 points. The bonus questions can be answered at any time during the game. In the streamed matches, only the first player that correctly answers a bonus question in each match will be eligible for the bonus points. Plan your strategy wisely. Good luck, and see you in Las Vegas.
There we have it.
All right.
It's the gold miner. It looks cute. It looks cute and it looks cartoony, but I tell you what, this is a tough case. What did you think of this one, Tim?
I think it's a classic Andrew Grigoljunovic case because all of those symbols and all of those bright colors and cute graphics, and the fact it's not just yet another card game. It's not. There are no sort of home ground advantages for knowing how to play the game in advance. I think it's really cute. I think it'll be an exciting and interesting competition.
Yeah, Andrew does love his little icons, doesn't he? So it's going to be quite a bit of, translating some of these little icons and converting them into points and then working out, how much coins can be made from it. There's quite a few complications in this case. So, okay, let's jump back to the participants, see how they're going and see if they have any questions. All right. Everybody managed to download the case and have a look through. Are there any questions? Everybody ready to go? All right, it's time to go. So let's do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck. Have fun, everybody.
Yeah, and they're off. They go. So they get a couple of minutes. And off they go. We're onto Andrew's screen first of all. All right, he's into it already. Look at him go. Okay. Oh, he's already created a little table down below. That was fast. Geez, that was fast. He is so fast. I cannot believe it. It's really cool. We can see his we can actually see his keystrokes over on the right hand side. So you can see how quickly he is going. He's creating a little table down below.
And you can see what he's doing. He's going straight for the bonus questions as well.
Straight for the bonus.
I can see Timothy, Stephen, Elliot have all taken the bonus points as well.
Yeah, so fast.
Andrew tried, but Sergio got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Sergio took the points.
Well, Andrew's still going. Oh no, he's given up now. Yeah, because the way it works is that only one of the groups, the ones that go head to head, only one of them can grab the bonus points. They've got to get the bonus points as quickly as they can, and they've already been taken. So they're moving on now to the case.
Okay. If we can move over to Sergio's screen, Sergio and Andrew appear to be in a closely fought battle for trying to get the third bonus question as well. Sergio's taking the first, Andrew is taking the second. So we'll see who can grab the third one. It looks like Sergio is currently trying to solve the second bonus question here, which is trying to work out what is the highest amount of coins you can get in a 3x3 grid, which means I'm assuming that he doesn't know that Andrew has already solved that because he won't get points for that otherwise.
Yeah, he's still going on it. No, he's
no, he's now moved on to the next
level one. Yeah, yeah. Looks like Stevenson's taken out a few of the bonus.
160 is questions 1 and 2 by the looks of it.
Yep, yep. Okay, and he's going for the third.
So the third bonus question asks you to look for all of the different arrows that you see in each of the questions, and to essentially count which arrow is used most commonly. Which is no trivial task because there are thousands of arrows on this page. Definitely seems to be going for it though. We can see Andrew has scored a number of points as well. Andrew's got 90 points in addition to his 85, so I think Andrew has taken the third bonus question.
He's he's trying to use the unique formula to get a unique list of he's got a unique list of all of the arrows, and then using a countif formula to pick up how many times that particular arrow appears, and then working out the total number, which is what will get him that third bonus question.
Yep. That's exactly it. Now, by contrast, if we switch over to Harry, Harry has completely ignored the bonus questions and has just moved straight on to the actual answers. It looks like he's got a second screen up. No, he's split the screen into 2 windows. There we go. So there's calculations on one side and the question and answer space on the other.
Not a bad idea because you're often sort of moving backwards and forwards to between your workings and then the instructions or the data or assumptions. So it's not a bad idea having split screen. I wonder if that, the fact that Harry just completely ignored the bonus questions, I wonder if that was a strategy, or whether he intended to do that, or he just realized that Stevenson had it.
Well, I'm actually now wondering if he intended to, or whether he's actually trying to work it out. Because it could be that he ignored them. It could be that he just wasn't quite fast enough to get them. But what you can see he's doing right now, he's putting together his 8 different arrows, the directions that Vlooky can move around the screen. And he appears to be trying to string together, I guess, -1, +1 sort of combinations of how you might move from...
That must be a lambda that he's just knocked up. Are you familiar with the complex? Tim?
It's not a formula that I'm familiar with.
It must be a lambda. I think he's just written a lambda right there and then, and he's going to use that to.
Actually, no. There is a complex function, and yes,
Is it really?
converts real and imaginary coefficients into a complex number.
So it is.
How he's going to use this is beyond me.
Never. I mean, that he must have just been waiting for the moment to use the complex formula. I can't believe I never even, there's more than 500 different functions in Excel and we only use a very small fraction of them. And this is just amazing to see that there is a call for a complex function. I mean, who knew? I just assumed that it was a lambda he'd written. So that's amazing. I mean, Harry is a programmer. He does a lot of other software besides Excel, so I guess he, yeah, it's what he does.
There you go. Why don't we head over to Timothy? Timothy's on 310 points. So my guess is that he's taken out the 3 bonus questions plus the first question, the first level.
Okay, he's on to level 2. Yep.
So this is going to give us a bit of an insight as to what exactly is going on here. We see that there are a series of arrows on top as well as these column and row movements. So a series of zeros, ones, and minus ones. And my guess is that he's going to be trying to translate all of those arrow movements into corresponding shifts around the map. You'll see on the left-hand side, you've got 8 arrows that direct you to different places. What he'll need to do is to take the arrows, identify the column and row movements, and from there try and work out, well, how do we actually choose different cells in the mine?
So starting from the starting place, which from memory was the U2 cell at the top, and then working, based on that cell to go across, up, down, and he's using an interesting combination of lookup and an indirect. I don't know about you, Tim. I'm not a huge fan of the indirect formula. I find it quite.
Wasn't a huge fan, but at the same time, it's pretty much the easiest way to answer the first level. And I think Andrew is terribly mean to force all of these financial modelers who would never use indirect on a day-to-day basis into using the indirect function live on YouTube.
Yeah, it is. I've got to say, some of the things that you see in these competitions, you wouldn't necessarily do in the real world, and certainly not in a financial model.
But then at the same time, we've got some really great ways of solving problems using classical financial modeling techniques as well, which is really exciting to see.
Yeah, it's just amazing to see the use of all these different tools and features and formulas in different situations, and that's what a competition like this is all about. Just seeing, how these people solve it at such a high level.
All right, we're just getting word from the organizers that all bonus points have been taken. So where we are now, with the scores being what they are, Andrew's on 235, Sergio ahead of Sergio on 135, Timothy's on 310 ahead of Alphonse on 0, Elliot is 225 ahead of Jakub on 145, Stevenson 310 ahead of Harry on 220. The only way that people are going to score points now is by completing the levels. So it looks like Alphonse does have a bit of a while to try and catch things up.
Yeah, I think he spent a bit of time on the bonus questions, and they were already been taken by Timothy. So he's got to really get into those levels now and try and catch up a bit.
That's it. Let's head over to Elliot. Elliot scored 225 points so far. And I'll be honest, I've never seen Elliot run on these events yet, so I'm curious to see what he can bring.
A bit of a new face. Yeah, good to see. Okay, so he's going with a cell. Okay, so a cell formula, a cell address is going to pick up the cell reference. So rather than giving us the value in the cell, it's going to tell us where that cell is. So then he's going to use an indirect on top of that. Having a bit of trouble with a ref error, but he's using the indirect and the reference to pick up the number, and the number is going to denote the number of coins. Okay, yes, and then the complexity is that if they go through a cell where the points have already been collected, then they don't pick up those points, and so he's had to create an extra column to show whether or not it's been collected, and he's going to have to do that for every single question in this level.
So I want to highlight 2 really interesting things about the way that Elliot's doing this right now. The first is that he is using the indirect function, which, as we mentioned before, financial modelers don't tend to do generally, right? And I think part of the reason for that is the fact that that first question just lent itself so easily to using indirect that it's almost like a hint to competitors that you should be using indirect moving forward. And so I think that's probably part of the reason why he's choosing this, and why he might be getting errors the first time he uses it, because it's not a function that we use on a day-to-day basis. The second interesting thing, that I find in all this is that for most of the players that we've seen so far, they've been working across the sheet from left to right, and they've been building some very long rows of calculations. What Elliot is actually doing is he's translating all the information and building a completely separate sheet. So he's working in 2 dimensions. He's got the arrows going down the page now instead of going across, and then he's building multiple columns to land is working, rather than like lots of column blocks that extend really far away. What this means is that he's got the advantage of actually being able to see how does things move from step to step really easily. He's not spreading his calculations out across 50 different columns. And once he finishes with this, I'm guessing he's probably going to use a data table to spin all of the different level questions into this little spreadsheet that he's made for it. So it's a very interesting way of doing it, and by all means, it is a much faster way of doing it for this specific question. He's just going to need to use the data table rather than copy the formula down afterwards.
Certainly the data table would really make things, if you can get that working, it's going to make things a lot faster. It's really interesting to see how people's minds work, isn't it? I think most of the competitors, and we'll jump on someone else in a minute, but most of them I think are probably going to do it a crossways because that's the way the question's been laid out. But the way that Elliot's done it down like that does have its advantages, as Tim mentioned, and it's just really interesting to see how people approach it in a different way. Let's jump into someone else's screen now. Maybe we can see. Should we see how Alphonse is doing?
Sounds good. Let's go. While we're moving to Alphonse, I can see on the screens, on the leaderboard in the top right-hand side, Stevenson's got the highest points on 470, followed by Andrew Nye on 395. But it's worth remembering that in all these cases, it doesn't matter who the top 4 are because we're playing in brackets, and so each pair of players just need to beat each other.
Exactly. Yeah, so rather than looking at the total amount, we're really just looking at the pair because they just need to beat each other in order to make it through to the next round. So Alphonse is still working on, is that level 1? So he's split it out into, so he's also got the, I'm not sure how, okay, he's using a code.
Oh, what Alphonse is doing, he is listing out every single position on the board.
Wow.
So he went down like 1,500 rows there. It looks like he's getting every single combination, every cell reference, every coin amount that he's getting on each point. And that's really interesting. That'll make it really easy to look things up afterwards. But it's a lot of time on setup.
Yeah, but in a lot of questions like this, it can pay off if you're fast enough. So if they spend, sometimes they spend a lot of time setting everything up, and then they get a whole lot of points all at once. But that's if they can be quick enough. Sometimes it doesn't. If they get a bum steer and then they just it sometimes doesn't pay off. So he looks like he's putting a lot of work into the layout of this one. So let's hope it pays off for him.
I mean, he's only got 16 minutes left to make the most of it. So fingers crossed he can turn it into something.
Yeah.
Can we head over to Timothy again? Because I can see his score is jumping around a bit.
Yeah, he's just grabbed a whole pile of points.
The Timothy's jumped from 310 points to 454.
Okay. Where's he up to?
So he's trying to solve question 2.
How did he get so many points if has he gone forward?
So he's got 250 points from the 3 bonus questions. He managed to steal all of them ahead of Alphonse. 60 points is level 1, which gets him 310. And so he's got 144 points out of question 2, and the fact it's not a round number would tell him that it is, he's made mistakes in this. He's not actually completed this properly. All right.
Yeah, I'm struggling to follow. Struggling to follow his approach here, because he's sort of done level 2 and yet he's still working on it. So,
well, I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that he is building like left to right, but he's taking multiple rows to do it, and so that's always a challenging thing. It means that he doesn't have like a single formula that he can just copy down the page. Maybe there's been something wrong in translation as he's copied it across and down.
Yeah. So maybe he realizes that there's something wrong with his original formula and he's trying to get those couple of extra points.
That's
We
it.
are halfway through. We have got less than 15 minutes to go. So, yeah, he might want to step it up a bit.
I don't think we've taken a look at Jakub yet. So I reckon we could probably take a look at Jakub's screen and see how he's going.
Okay, so he's gone with the cell reference as well.
And he looks to be building it on another sheet, so he'll be using a data table afterwards to try and replicate the results. Lots and lots of indirects here. There you go. So yeah, like I think we've probably got maybe 2 or 3 people who are using this external sheet type approach, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
I do think though, and when I don't know how you felt about it, Daniel, when you were going through the question before the live stream, but I feel like the indirect is a little bit of a red herring, to be honest. It's definitely the easiest way to solve the first question, but I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan of taking indirect and using it afterwards. So yeah, I'm wondering if people are sort of being led down the garden path here.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I certainly, yeah. I mean, if it works, I mean, you know, with these in these competitions, you haven't got time to sort of to think about it. You've just got to jump in and just use whatever tool will work. You know, sometimes it's you know, using a formula that you perhaps wouldn't, you know, necessarily use, or you might not be one of your favorites, but you just got to get in there and do it and get the answer as quickly as you can.
Yeah. So what Jakub seems to be working on right now is something to do with hours. And so this is something about the case, right? You can move around the screen and you get coins, but then you also have to spend a certain amount of time going through here as well. And in this question, the miner of Lucky is kind of limited because he can either take 20 steps and do 20 sorts of things, or he can or he only has 8 hours in a day to work, so he's going to stop after 8 steps. And so the challenge in this question that sort of enhances the difficulty over the last question is that players need to try and work out when is the miner going to stop mining. And that's what this total hours thing that Jakub's trying to calculate right now is. It's trying to work out, well, when is this miner actually going to stop mining and get on, sort of finish up and cash out his coins at the end of the day. And so that's one additional complication in this level. There's actually a second complication in this level that sort of makes this sort of a much harder step up than it seems at face value, which is that it doesn't cost any time to mine out a square if you have certain combination of magnets and iron in your resources. So not only do you have to keep track of how many hours you're spending and whether a square has been used up or not, you also need to think whether you have more magnets than iron or more iron than magnets, because that will allow you to skip the mining time for the opposite of whatever you have more of.
So it's quite a bit of complexity, and he's also got to keep track of his moves. So it's either 8 hours or 20 moves.
Tricky one. He seems to have an idea of what he wants to do. You can see he's got a cap there of 8 hours now, some sort. But the numbers keep floating around. I'm not quite sure what's going on, why they keep changing on him. All right. So that's Jakub. Why don't we head over? We haven't taken a look at Stevenson in a little while.
Yeah.
Stevenson's currently in the lead on 470 points. Which I think means he's also probably working on question 3 as well.
He's really, he's really in the lead, and certainly doing a lot better than Harry. But that can change. We know that can change just so quickly. You know, if somebody's been working on this, you know, one formula solution, and then just boom, they can just jump ahead. So it's, you know, I'd say, you know, Stevenson's doing pretty well, but yeah, it's still possible.
So I want to shout out to Stevenson on this. Kudos for using the symbols and not just converting them all to numbers, because he could have taken the easy way out and just used 0 to 10 as the different options, but he's actually using the symbols. We can see on the left-hand side there, and looking up how many units of iron or how many magnets have been mined and so on. This appears, what we're looking at on the screen right now appears to be essentially some sort of cumulative sum of how many times you've mined out each of the different items. And so that's that complexity that we were talking about before, irons and magnets. Have we dug out more iron? Have we dug out more magnets? Those are the things that we need to work out because they're going to give us a free pass to mine the next one.
So I saw he was using some product there. He was multiplying the something that I assume he's intending to reuse, and he's making good use of dynamic arrays here. So when we see that blue sort of border around it, we know that he's using dynamic arrays, and he's got a data table in there already. So yeah, his
So he's just tried to copy and paste his answers over into the answer form, and that effort got him all of 10 points, which is not very many. That's one question that he's got right there.
Oh, and Harry is just jumped like a whole bunch of points just then. So he's not close to Stevenson yet, but he's certainly doing a lot better.
Well, let's take a look at what Harry's doing then, because I think if Harry were able to solve level 3, he may well earn enough points to be able to catch up to Stevenson. So it does look, first of all, I think it does look like everyone's kind of switched over to having this, having all the calculations on one sheet now. That's definitely been an evolution. Everyone who was working across the rows has now sort of given up on that, and they're now accepting that this calculation is more complicated than they thought it was going to be, and they can't just copy it down the page.
Don't forget, of course, that anyone who misses out or who doesn't make it is going to get this last chance round. So anyone who is going to Vegas, even if they don't make it through on these stages, they can always still get a chance to compete. So that's that just sort of throws a little bit of a curveball into this competition, which I think is great. So even if any of these guys who are not going to make it through on this round, they still, if they come along to Vegas, they will still have a chance to win. They get a second chance round.
So Danielle, you were saying before that you thought Harry had written his own lambdas to do some of the questions before, and complex certainly wasn't a lambda in and of itself. But looking at some of the formulae that he has there, I think they are. Like he's got things like complex from error and address dot from complex and so on, which are definitely not functions. Where other? That's
other. Okay.
Yes. And he's got a lambda function embedded in that as well. He's definitely writing something in here that's specific for the question.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Goodness. Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll see if he can catch up. There looks to be a close battle between Andrew and Sergio.
Yeah,
we'd love to see where that's going.
Okay.
Alrighty. Andrew too is working on level 3 by the looks of it. Running into a few issues it seems here. It looks like some of his lookups aren't quite working the way that we wanted it to. But there we go. So Andrew's laid it out really nicely. You'll see in column G, he's got the cell that it's in, and so he's highlighted these certain cells in yellow, which are the starting sort of input values that he might be hard coding. And everything else is spilling out from that, which is a really beautiful way of working. Now he's updating.
Yeah, spending some time on some labeling is always not such a bad idea, just so that you can find your way around. When you're working so quickly, it's just really easy to pick up the wrong column or to get lost.
That's right. So you see what he was doing just a second ago. He was sort of popping in a value and taking it out, popping it in, taking it out. And I think he was watching the scores to see whether they moved or not, or which way they moved more specifically. So he's trying to get a sense of whether what he's done is correct or not with just one or two things before he puts too much more effort into it.
Yeah, I'm surprised we've only got 5.5 minutes to go, and he's only cleared 2 levels. So we've got quite a way to go. I'm surprised people are not further along. It's hard to tell sometimes the complexity.
Andrew writes some pretty tricky questions. Yeah.
Yeah, he does. That one is quite difficult.
Well, Stevenson's jumped up to 520, so he's certainly getting somewhere. Can we move over to Sergio though, because we haven't looked at his screen in a while, and he is probably within striking range of Andrew. Again, all of these players, Andrew and Sergio, Harry and Stevenson, certainly Elliot and Jakub, they're probably only like one formula or a couple of formula away from refining their calculation and earning a bucket load of points. We can see Jakub's just jumped up. Sergio's dropped in a bunch of numbers, and his score has actually just dropped. So I think whatever he had in place before was probably what he wants to use instead. It's quickly undone that. Let's go take a look at Jakub. Jakub's just scored a bucket load of points.
Yeah, wow, he's really come ahead. He is doing well.
So Jakub's comfortable enough with what he's done with level 3. I think he probably recognizes that he hasn't got all of it, but it might be sufficient to move on to level 4 and give that a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's looks like he's tackling level 4. And he's just looking at a whole lot at once. All right.
Now, level 4 adds yet more complexities. Because in level 4, there are 2 additional complications. One, you're not just starting in the same place. In the previous level, all of your moves were coming off a single cell, and so it was very easy to say, this is where I'm starting. I'm gonna sort of carry on from that point, following all the arrows. Now, the starting cell is a different input. And so it's important for them to sort of factor that into their calculations. In addition, there's an extra element of complication here where certain items that the miner picks up is actually going to drain their health over time. And I think that comes at a cost as well, that you need to pay coins in order to restore your health. So that's going to be sort of a negative cost at the end, to have to sort of deduct from the coin total in order to see how much net coins you've earned, I think. I do note that Jakub and Elliot are both tied on 465 points, though. This is incredibly close. If we switch over to Elliot.
That is very close.
Let's switch to Elliot and see what he's doing right now, because he would probably be working on level 4 as well, I assume. Yep.
Where is he up to?
Elliot, I think, is just starting level 4 now, and he's run into the same position where if you start using all of your old calculations on example 4, it just doesn't work.
All right, so we are getting close. So it looks like, yeah, there's still a tie between Jakub and Elliot. The others have all what appear to be clear winners with only 1 minute and 45 seconds to go. All right.
So Daniel, I don't think we've ever seen this before, like a proper tie break, or tie in these live streams. I think that Jakub gets it because Jakub got the score first, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, what are they? I'm sure they've got a plan if this happens to tie break them. Highly unusual for them to get exactly the same number of points, and hopefully one of them will just pull ahead at the last minute. But we've only got 1 minute to go, and yeah, one of them just needs to try out. Right.
Well, I mean, Andrew makes his questions particularly difficult for round between to work, right? So you're randomly guessing numbers up to 1,000. It's going to be pretty tricky.
Yeah. It is a strategy. I know some people do it, and it does work where you just randomly try different numbers just to try and get those couple of extra points at the end, which is where we are right now. Is so close. We've only got half a minute to go, 33 seconds, and they're still tied. And yeah, they're just going to have to try something too. I don't know if they realize it. They can only see their own scores, so I don't think they would realize that they are on a tie. If they did, they'd probably try something. We've got 15 seconds to go, and yeah, it looks like we've got clear winners in all of the categories except for Jakub and Elliot, who are still tied. We have 5 seconds to go, and okay, and that's it.
Yeah.
That is it. Wow.
goodness.
Wow. Okay.
So this is amazing that they managed to score the same amount, because the bonus questions have different points, right? Specifically to make it easier to handle those tie breaks. But in this case, Jakob scored 80% of level 3, Elliot scored 40% of level 3, and as a result, it just happened to be that they've ended up on 465.
Yeah, 80, 40, bonus 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm sure there's a plan. We will figure out what is going to happen with the tiebreak. So, wow, well done. That was a really exciting match. So it looks as if Andrew is the clear winner there. We have Timothy Shu. We have the tie, Jakob and Elliot, and Stevenson is going through to the next round.
Yep, and so we've just heard word from the organisers. Jakob takes it because Jakob got there on time. So he was the first one to get to 465.
Right.
So it's his points to win.
Yeah. He reached that score the first. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
There you go.
All right, fantastic. Well done, everybody. Wow, what an exciting game. Okay.
So why don't we start with Jakob then as our first little interview? Tied on points, but you got there slightly earlier than Elliot did.
Well done, Jakob.
Yeah, it was.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, it was very close on us.
Did
It was
you realize?
quite hard.
Did you realize that you were tied?
Yes, I was looking a bit at the stream and taking a look.
Oh, well done.
Congratulations,
well done,
Elliot. Bad luck.
So close.
Yeah, very close. It's really distracting having those scores there. It's so hard not to look at them. As Jakob said, and as Harry said, it's so much harder doing this live than it is doing it offline in practice. So good luck, Jakob. You have to win now. For me, you've got to get all the way.
Absolutely. Well done, Andrew. How are you feeling? How are you feeling, Andrew?
Yeah, it was all right. I was stuck for quite a while. But yeah, well, in the end, I guess it was just enough, but yeah.
Yeah. And Stevenson, you did so well. Well done.
I thought
How
I got
did you
it was tough. I decided to go straight for the bonuses.
Yeah, you were so fast. Those bonuses, yeah.
It makes the difference, right? So 250 points on the bonus is what pushes you ahead of Harry, because you only beat him by 200 points.
Yeah, I didn't get, I think, most of level 3.
How did you find it, Harry?
I found it pretty tough, especially going up against Stevenson, who was right on those bonuses straight away. I also went for them straight away, but he was a lot faster. So, yeah, very well done.
So we have a question, Harry, because we were marking in the stream. Were you writing your own lambdas during the session to try and answer that question?
Yeah.
Oh, I was using some complex number lambdas that I prepared earlier, just for grid cases like this. Weren't enough to get me over the line here, but you know, I'm comfortable with them. They make me feel a lot better about the grid cases, which are very hard usually.
Very nice. I'm going to need to hit you up for those afterwards and find out the secret sauce.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Alphonse, bad luck for your round. I understand you went for the bonus questions, but again, like Harry, you're just a little bit too slow to get them.
Exactly. I mean, I was just checking the results screen by the minute, and it was like I was just typing in the answer and just immediately seeing the score pop up on Timothy. So it was just continuously by the second. I just had the feeling that I was kind of trailing behind him. So, well, then that's what happened, of course, at the end of the day.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, well done under pressure. So tough.
Timothy, again, similar to Stevenson, it's a good thing you grabbed those bonus questions because you won by less than the points they were worth. So, congratulations.
Thank you for that. Yes, I went for the bonus questions first and started working my way through, and I kind of got stuck at level 3, so I was kind of just hoping that Alphonse didn't catch up, really.
I think to be fair, most people got stuck on level 3. I don't think anyone actually finished actually, Andrew might have finished level 3 to completion. I'm not sure. No, it was a pretty challenging question.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Nobody got right through to the end. All right, we just had word that the brackets are ready. So let's have a look at how everyone went. Okay, so here we have Andrew, Timothy, Jakub, and Stevenson are making it through to the next round. So congratulations to all of you. Well done. Okay, and I think it's time now to take a short break before we move on to the next round.
Software, cloud, and technology providers. But there's only one who brings it all together to move business forward. Software One. Because who we are makes what we do better. Determined and tenacious, we are driven to deliver. Gathered from all over the world with diverse expertise, global perspectives, and the grit to get things done. We are thousands strong. One company, all in. Our way transcends technology. It's smarter than just software. We bring deep, data-driven insight together with people who can guide every facet of your journey, from where you've been to where you need to be. An expertise like no other, because no one else can act on software and cloud intelligence like we do. End-to-end, side by side, building better outcomes. All in one. Software One.
Microsoft Excel World Championship 2023, with the finals taking place in HyperX Esports Arena, Las Vegas in December. We are glad to present you the case for Round 4, Cribbage, designed by Peter Scharl from the US. Cribbage is a card game using a standard 52 card deck where the goal is to be the first to score 121 points. In this case, Battle, you are only concerned with the part of the game where you count the number of points in a player's hand, which is 4 cards plus a cut card that all players use. For those familiar with the game of cribbage, a hand of only 4 cards is dealt, so no cards will be discarded. Points are scored in the hand for 15s, pairs, runs, and flushes. Hopefully, this case battle motivates you to learn the wonderful game of cribbage. This is a playoff round, so your goal is to score more points than your opponent. The case has 5 levels of difficulty and 3 bonus questions, giving a total of 1,250 points. The bonus questions can be answered at any time during the game. In the streamed matches, only the first player that correctly answers a bonus question in each match will be eligible for the bonus points. Plan your strategy wisely. Good luck, and see you in Las Vegas.
Cribbage.
Cribbage. We were just talking about card games that people may or may not be familiar with, right?
Yeah. Have you ever played cribbage, Tim?
I have never played cribbage before, but that being said, the rules seem pretty simple, right? You're looking for pairs, runs, and flushes, and so on. It's pretty straightforward, except the one part of the rule that I think we were talking about before the live stream. And that is that if you've never played cribbage, the cards that you get dealt, you might be able to, use them in multiple different combinations. So if you're trying to find pairs, for example, you can use the same card multiple times in different pairs or in different runs and so on. So I think in the video example, they had a couple of numbers that were used as a set of 15, like a 7 and 8 that became a 15. And then when they took the cut card, the 9, and added that to that list, suddenly it became a 7, 8, and 9. So you could use any card and any combination in your set. And I think if our own experience is anything to go by, that's going to trip a couple of people up when they're working through the questions.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the last case, it does look fairly straightforward, but I think, yeah, there might be a few things that people find a little bit tricky. But I mean, basically, we're just looking for pairs, we're looking for runs, we're looking for flush, and then just any combination of those is really what we're looking for in this one. So yeah, it's fairly straightforward. Even if you haven't played cribbage before, I think the rules are fairly sort of clearly laid out, and I don't think we'll find it too difficult.
It is going to get increasingly harder though as they go. So I think they start off with 3 cards, and you've got a couple of different combinations of pairs that you might be looking for across 3 cards, but then it goes to 4 cards and it goes to 5 cards, and if you're looking for how many pairs of cards you have across 5, that's like 15 or something like that. There's a great many more combinations that you can have.
Pairs, and then how many times, if it's like 3 of the same, then you have to count it multiple times, so it does get quite complicated.
So hopefully they're going to have a really good time in this case. We're giving them a little bit of extra time. If everyone's wondering where are the players and why haven't we started yet, where there's no rest for the wicked. We've jumped straight from the last round into this round, and so they get a little bit more of a break in order to have a read of the case and understand the rules, because it's hard work when you're competing.
Did I hear you say, Tim, you're not coming to Vegas in person, are you?
No, I'm not coming to Vegas, unfortunately.
I've got watching that video. I tell you what, I really got FOMO. I was looking up the speakers. There's going to be Jordan Goldmeyer, Paul Barnhurst, who's a bit of a superstar, Andrew Nye, who we just met, Diarmuid Early, who's like one of the top financial modelling champions, Oz du Soleil, who's really fun, Michael Jarman, Dan Mayo from Australia, Leanna Garish, who's fantastic, and David Brown, like all of these people that are just such top of their field in the industry, and they're all going to be in one place. It's really exciting, and I've really got FOMO about it. I think it's going to be fantastic, and to actually watch the finals will be incredible. It's going to be over 3 days, so like the 7th to the 9th, and I think the finals are actually in the arena on the 9th of December. So if you can possibly be there, it's going to be so much fun. It looks like it's going to be great. And if after the rest of the second round, we'll see who's actually going to be in finals. I wonder if we're ready to go.
I think they are ready. So we can invite everyone back in and switch over.
Yeah.
And check in with them. Hopefully everyone's had a little bit of a break between sessions and had a chance to read the rules. Does anyone have any questions before we jump into the round? Stevenson.
Yes, I'm unfamiliar with the game. What's a run again? It's what's a flush?
A flush is when you've got cards of all the same suit.
So as long as they're the same suit, doesn't matter what they are. That's a flush.
Doesn't matter what they are. That's right. So you could have, say for example, a 4 of spades, a 9 of spades, a 8 of spades, queen of spades. As long as they're all spades, that would count as a flush.
Okay, thank you.
I think there's also a rule that it's the cards in your suit, not the cut card. I think the cut card, which will be sort of highlighted for you afterwards, that applies separately, and that doesn't need to be included. Runs are straights where you have, I think they would call it a straight in poker, for example, where you have consecutive numbers in a row. So 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Any other questions?
Any other questions?
All right.
I think we're
You
good
call
then.
it. You call it, Tim. Your turn.
All right. Well, good luck. Have fun, everybody. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Let's get going.
Okay, we see
here we
all
go.
of them at once.
This is the fun
great.
screen. I love the screen. You can't get
Love
this for
it.
8 people because it's
Yeah.
just too small to see what's going on. But I love getting this big, God picture of everything that's happening on everybody's screens.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
They are going for those bonuses as quick as they can. Look at their keystrokes flying.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows how valuable the bonus points are now because, I mean, 2 of the last brackets were basically decided on those bonus points. And the competition's fierce, right? So Timothy and Stevenson both managed to get all 3 bonus questions before Alphonse and, Harry were able to, get anywhere near them. So Andrew's first on the board with 60 points, having got the first bonus question. Who is going to be next? So we are still in brackets.
Stevenson.
It's not a free-for-all, so it's still Andrew versus Timothy, and Stevenson versus Jakob. So
the 2 on the top, Andrew and Timothy, are against each other. And the bottom row, Jakob and Stevenson, are against each other. So out of the 4, 2 of them will be going to Vegas.
Yeah. So it is interesting in this case that the second and third bonus questions can't be answered until you get through the levels. So unlike many other questions that we've looked at in this battle and in historical battles, there's no sort of claiming all 3 questions immediately. You actually need to work your way through some of these questions in order to get there.
Yeah, they're all just a little bit different.
So
why has Andrew gone straight to level 5?
I'm wondering if there's something about the bonus that he's doing it for. But he's just reordering the cards in question 5. And I don't blame him for this because when I was looking at question 5, part of it is just a little bit of data manipulation because you get dealt cards, player 1, player 2, player 1, player 2. But if you can recognize that you've got 5 cards in a row for each player, being the 4 cards you're dealt and then this cut card that both players have access to, it's essentially the same problem that question 4 is, which is how many points can you score out of a 5-card hand?
So the one that 3 of them have got the bonus, so bonus 1 is how many times did the most prevalent suit occur across games 1 to 100. So they had to split out the suits and figure out which was the most prevalent and then count those. So that one, but with bonus 2, which it looks like Andrew's working on now, how many games did 2 of a kind or a pair, a 3 of a kind or 4 of a kind, in how many games did that happen? So for level 5, this must occur at least for at least 1 player. So in example 5, there are no pairs since each player has only 1 6 and 1 8. So that is what Andrew is attempting now.
That's right. I'm loving how quickly he's working through this. You can see so many Control Shift arrows, Control C's, Control V's as he's copying and pasting and using that like the formula consistency going all the way up and down the columns. It's great. It's great to actually see what he's doing, right? Oh, beautiful. So he's definitely trying to answer the bonus question 2. And Timothy, on the other hand, has taken a different approach. Timothy has scored 60 points as well, but it's not the bonus question that he scored the points on. Timothy has answered level 1. And so he's actually making a start on the other questions, I think, by the looks of it. Although...
Oh, no, he hasn't. What's that across the top there? Is he gone with the...
Oh, he's scrolling up and down. I couldn't quite see that, unfortunately.
Yeah. So he's completely ignored the bonuses.
I wonder if he is, or if he's actually just pointing out, like trying to get his pairs. Now he's using a function there, CRL, I think it read, which
That
is
is
not
not
a
a
function.
function.
That's definitely not an existing Excel function. So this might be another one of the here's one I prepared earlier functions,
So he's
or it could be something that he's written on the spot.
Yeah, so these lambdas are just flying today. Boy, I had to try that one out because I thought, oh, maybe it's another new function I was not familiar with, but no, he's just written that on the spot. So that is obviously a formula that, what is it? CAL. He's created.
CRL or CAL?
CRL? It's hard to see. And
in
what
the
that
keystrokes, I could see he did a CA open brackets, so I don't know if that's something too.
So he's using it to pick up the first character to work out the value of each of the cards.
Ah, is that what it is? So maybe it's like character left or something like that to try and work
like
out the
left,
first character.
Yeah, but working out the value for each one, and he's using a sequence to. So he's doing a sequence for each of the cards, and then the queen, the jack, queen, and king, and the ace as well, and then incorporating that.
Okay.
What?
Oh, okay. So what I think he's doing now, he's getting combinations of runs. That'd be my guess. So he's trying to evaluate what are the different run possibilities. So when he gets the cards and he puts them in order, you'll see in the next question down there's a 9 of spades, 8 of clubs, 7 of hearts.
Yeah.
He'll get a 7, 8, 9 out of that. And if he can find that 7, 8, 9 in this list, then he knows he's got a run. I think that's a brilliant move.
That is. It's That is gonna come in useful in later levels for sure.
All right. Why don't we check out what Stevenson is doing then? Because Stevenson scored 120 points, so he's got his first bonus question locked in. He has finished level 1, and now he's going to be expecting how to solve level 2. So, like we said before in the break, in the sort of the introduction to this question, the tricky thing that they're going to find is that they can use cards multiple times. So if we see over here, we've got this 5 queen 5 in the first actual question here. You're supposed to be getting sets of 15, so you can use the 5 of spades and the queen to get 15 points, but you can also use the queen and the 5 of hearts to get points. So that's actually going to get you 2 sets of points for completing the 15s in this instance.
So adding together all the possible combinations of where you're getting the points from, that does make it quite tricky.
There we go. So you can see he's got 15s, 3, 15s, 2 pairs. So I think he's trying to count how many ways can we turn 3, 5, and 7 into all of these different potential scoring options. So he's just trying to list them all out so that he can then have a single set of calculations and probably data table to roll it out across all the different questions in this level. The thing that concerns me with his approach though right now is that I believe he might be sort of brute forcing that. His calculations are all set up very nicely for 3. Like three different cards, but he needs to remember that in the later questions it goes up to 4 cards and 5 cards, and if he's got things that are sort of set out for pairs that are essentially baked into the formula, then that's going to be a bit tricky.
Gonna have to rewrite that formula. Okay, it's going with an H stack, so that's cool. That's a new function that not that many people are using yet. Good to see.
All right. Just got word. Andrew has scored 80 points for the bonus question too. So Andrew would have scored 60 plus 80 for the 2 bonus questions, 60 for the first level, and I guess he's working on level 2 now.
Fantastic.
Okay, so let's take a look at Jakub. We haven't seen Jakub's screen yet.
Yeah, let's have a look.
So this is a very familiar layout. We saw some of this in the last question.
Yeah, similar approach that he took for the last game. He's got value, the count, the runs, and then it looks like he's going to do a true false. So it's kind of setting that up on another page.
You look up left, looking up the number of points. So I wonder if he's got a table somewhere that tells him how many points each combination is worth. Can't see it now while I was looking at the rules.
He's lagging a little behind. So let's hope he can keep up. Formula working, and it's gonna, yeah.
Now, I'm seeing a lot of points movements on Timothy's score. He was on
Okay.
156 points. He's now on 180 points. So if we take a look at Timothy's screen, we can probably see what he's trying to do. I believe he scored 60 for the first level. It looks like he's scored 120 for this level, which isn't all of the points. So he's getting piecemeal points, but he's making mistakes in the process that he needs to try and solve now.
It's interesting, this one, that you could actually solve this with the first couple of levels. You could probably get reasonably quickly in the time, just with using a round between or a round formula to pick up, because it's really the scores or the points are really only going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or there's only a handful of options. But that is not going to get you very far in the competition. It might get you a few points at the beginning, but I can't see it getting you very far. But it wouldn't be such a bad idea to do it for the first couple of levels, just to kind of give you a bit of the speed.
You say that, Danielle, but I distinctly remember in the very first Microsoft Excel World Championship, or the Financial Modeling World Cup, as it was, 2 years ago. I distinctly remember Andrew taking our top score in one of the questions. Would have been the semi-finals or the quarterfinals or something, by brute forcing his way through the Exelopolis or the city, whatever crowded streets it was. I remember Harry was trying to write these fantastic optimization codes in VBA, and Andrew was there sitting counting squares in Excel manually, and scored like double the points that anyone else did because he did it by hand and no one else got the answer.
Did he win that?
He did win that, and he ended up taking out the prize, right? So don't discount the manual approach. It can be successful.
Amazing. Yeah. I wouldn't have thought. Yeah. You got a good memory, Tim. So yeah, I wouldn't have thought. But obviously Andrew's an amazing modeler. So he's clearly got the skills, but just using the brute force method in that instance works.
It's about understanding when you're not going to solve the problem. And I think in that particular match 2 years ago, Harry was bogged down in his VBA, and so he couldn't get there. But he'd committed himself so hard to his solution that he didn't have time to pivot to trying to tackle the problem a different way. I think so. I was speaking to Andrew a year later, just catching up for a coffee to chat about some of his experiences, and he was saying that he immediately recognized that he wasn't going to solve it, that there was no way he could find a formula to do it. So rather than waste time trying, he devoted his time to scoring points the way that he knew he could score points. I think that's really great.
Tough strategy, but it obviously paid off. But boy,
absolutely.
I probably wouldn't recommend it for most people, but he obviously worked for him.
Well, let's head over to Andrew now. He's on 328 points. So he's scored some number of points and is probably trying to work out where he's failing in this.
Oh, he's gone with a trim. I wonder what he needed to trim. There must have been some trailing spaces somewhere. So he's had to. And he's got a data table in there as well. All right.
Oh, I think I know what the trim is. So his trim, I believe, is coming from the fact that he's trying to scale his solution so that it's ready for 5 cards, and at the moment he is only working on the 3 cards. So I think he's thinking ahead and trying to work out what does he need to consider for future questions, which again, absolutely brilliant move.
Yeah. But a trick, okay, all right. Yeah.
At least I think that's where he's going with that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right.
So we can see here, he's got the number of points, he's got an index, he's got pairs, he's got runs.
It's
and he's got
interesting how
15.
small his calculations are compared to some of the other guys. So he's just got one thing, and then he's going to run a data table to get the answers.
That's right. So if you look on the right-hand side, you see he's got 15s over there. And what I think that is a check to see what combinations of cards they're playing is going to give him a score of 15. But I don't know if that's actually going to work. Like the three options he has there is looking for pairs possibly. So like, card 1, card 2, does that add up to 15? But as you get to the later sections, there might be multiple cards that add up to 15. So you might have a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and an ace that are all together going to add up to 15. And I don't know if his formula is going to cater for that.
Yeah.
Still, he seems to have solved question 2, level 2, sorry. So certainly getting somewhere.
Yeah, so he is.
Okay, it's going to move on to example 3. So example 3, as I believe, is pretty much the same as question 2, but instead of dealing with 3 cards, he's dealing with 4 cards. So this is now where we're going to see whether Andrew's system is flexible enough to handle the fact that 4 cards is not just 33% harder than 3 cards, it's exponentially harder. And we can see him inserting a bunch of columns now to try and make up for that.
Control plus. The old control plus. So many shortcuts these guys use. They're just on the keyboard the whole time. It is a lot faster to be using the keyboard instead of the mouse.
Yeah. So you can see what he's doing here, right? He's copying and pasting his 1s and 0s because this is some table of combinations that he's looking up. So I'm guessing each set of 1s and 0s is trying to work out whether a card is switched on or switched off. And rather than trying to come up with some fancy formula to work this out and get every combination of 1 and 0 different cards in play, he's just doing it manually. And you have to respect that because he recognizes that he's not going to be able to solve this as a function to try and get every single combination, and so he's just going to do it manually, type it out, because that's only going to cost him 20 seconds, 30 seconds to do this. Now he's sense checking because he thinks he's got the right number of columns, but now he's not sure because he hasn't actually run into all the results. Like it doesn't add up to the number of columns that he was expecting. Because he's forgotten the zeros are an extra column as well. But yeah, so he's just laying this out manually because it's faster than writing a formula to do this. And it's something that's worth remembering in these competitions, that when you're under pressure, it's hard to actually work out your formulae sometimes. It's hard to do it on the fly. And if you can solve it very quickly with a really simple hard-coded value, or a little bit of copying and pasting hard-coded values, this competition is all about trying to get things done the fastest way possible. You don't necessarily need to have beautiful, elegant formulae to get you the answer.
And talking to some of these guys previously, some of them have been training for so long. They've been trying out cases constantly. There's so many different old cases that are available, and they just jump in and try and solve them. They do sort of one case a day, or a couple cases a week over the time. Just practicing, keeping themselves sharp. I know that Women in Financial Modelling group, we get together and train for the Financial Modelling World Cup or for this. Leanna Garish is really involved in that, and a couple of the other women that compete. And having these sorts of training sessions, or by yourself or together, just practicing, because the more you see these examples, so often you come across this and go, I wouldn't, looking at this now, you think, who would even think to do it like that, to sort of have that thought of how to lay it out. But the more of these cases you do, the better you get at it, and it's just practice, and to try out these different cases. It's just going to make you better at Excel, and just keep practicing all the time. It's great if you can do it at work. You know, if you've got a job that allows you to use Excel all the time, that's great. But if you don't, you know, some of these cases are just great to try out and improve your skills.
Absolutely. I just want to know, while you've been talking, Andrew has managed to score all the points for level 3. So he's now expanding his set out for level 4, which adds yet another card to the process. But I also want to head over to Jakob, because Jakob's taken the lead over Stevenson in 290 points. So this is 240. So while we're switching to
Wow, that
Jakob's
was unexpected.
Yes, I do want to highlight, just to carry on your point, Danielle, in the Collegiate Championship, I believe there are cases where you can work in teams, and the Collegiate Championship's a great way to meet up with other like-minded people at your educational institution, to find people to practice with, to get ideas from. And so I think, you know, a university club that focuses on Excel or financial modeling, or, you know, even just the like engineering, accounting, actuarial studies, all the courses that kind of lend themselves a lot to spreadsheets. You know, those are great places to meet up with other people and like-minded individuals who would want to play around with these sorts of things.
And it does make you better at it, you know, with the working in a team, because when you know working in if you're doing this for your work, you're always going to have to work with other people. It's unlikely that you're going to get to just have a you know, one model that you're working on your own. You're always having to collaborate with other people. So developing those skills as well is good.
Okay, so Jakob's got 470 points now. So I think he has just also similarly solved level 3 as well. He's jumped from 290 to 470 and 180 points, which is what I think level 3 is worth. No, level 3 is worth 200 points, which is not level 3, level 2. Maybe I'm thinking level 2. Either way, he's doing a great job so far. Definitely taking the lead over Stevenson.
Yeah. There's a really big gap. So it looks as if, I mean, we've got less than 8 minutes to go, and it looks like Andrew and Jakob are clearly in the lead. Timothy and Stevenson would have to do quite a bit to catch up with them. So it looks like we may already have some winners, but they're still going for it. It looks like Jakob has not quite past level 2, but he's onto level 3 already. He must have decided that he's done what he can with level 2, and he's continuing. He's still got. He's doing really well. He's got 470 points. So obviously working.
It's a tricky one though, because you see, he's not quite solved level 2. He got, you know, maybe 3/4 of the way through level 2, but then he's only scored half of level 3. And as you go into level 4, I'm assuming that, again, the logic's going to fall over, and what worked previously, or the small flaws that he had that stopped him scoring all the points in level 2, and sort of hindered him in level 3, is going to destroy him in level 4, and he's not going to be able to make up that difference.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, you know, we've only got a few minutes to go, and it's just about who can score the most points at this stage.
That's right. Can we head over to Stevenson and take a look? Because I think Stevenson is 207 points behind, which means that he's probably unlikely to catch up. Like, that's more than a full level's worth of points over here. Oh no, I take that back. He's now on 403. There you go.
What just happened?
So
I
he's
saw him
certainly
looking over. Maybe he's got another screen that he's copying them over onto, because he just jumped way high. He's close. I mean, there's 6 minutes to go.
So if we look down at the bottom of the screen, we can see, again, he's not quite solved level 2 properly. He's not quite solved level 3 properly, although it's not hindered him quite as much as it did to Jakob.
But he's got the points.
He's made a dent in level 4. And essentially the only reason he's behind is because Jakob managed to score one more bonus question than he did. So it's pretty close there. If we head back to Andrew, though, Andrew is on 743 points.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Let's see what Andrew's done. I want to see if he's okay, so he's really only done 3 levels, but he's making a dent in level 4 and level 5.
You say only 3 levels, Danielle. Like, it's really easy. You've only got to be a double defending world champion to be able to take this on.
Amazing. Yeah.
That being said, I reckon if he can solve level 4, level 5 is pretty much more of the same. And so it's the same problem that we said before. A minor mistake in level 4 that's stopping him from getting all the points is probably what's stopping him from earning as many points as he could in level 5.
Yeah. He's going to go with that brute force again, maybe.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. He looks like he's launching. Okay, so he's just scored 3/4 of the level 5 points now. He's on 995. Which, I mean, sounds like a perfect score, as if 1,000 is a perfect score.
Again. Oh, he just went down. Nope, he's back
Oh,
up.
yes. I think he changed some of the answers in level 4.
Yeah.
And that didn't work for him.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. So he hasn't solved the error that he had? Oh, now he solved the error. He's on 1,105 points now.
Okay. Wow.
So I think he's given up on trying to make level 4 and 5 perfect. He's just going for the third bonus question.
Yeah.
In any event, I think the last bonus question is worth 110 points. So technically, if Timothy was able to solve all 5 levels and then get the third bonus question ahead of Andrew, he could still possibly take the lead.
In less than 4 minutes, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think it's likely. I think this one's a foregone conclusion.
Boy.
But if we head back, actually, if we let's take a look at where Timothy is, because we haven't looked at the screen in a while. It would be good to see where is he getting bogged down? Is he getting stuck on that level 3, level 4 dichotomy? Yeah, we can see he's had the same issues that Jakub has had, but without the benefit of getting points from the bonus question, unfortunately.
Yeah, but he's had a crack at all the levels.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well, I think when you get the logic for one, you can roll it out across the other levels, and you'll score a few points, and you won't score most of the points. And that's usually good enough. Like we see in Jakub's case, like that's enough to stay ahead of Stevenson. But when you're up against someone like Andrew, it's not going to cut it, unfortunately.
Wow.
Okay. Let's in the last 3 minutes, why don't we focus on the Jakub and Stevenson battle then? Because I think they are probably
closer than the others.
Exactly. Jakub is ahead essentially by the third bonus question. So he should be very grateful that he solved that one to get his 110 points there. Because I think Stevenson has more points in the actual levels. You can see Jakub, if you're watching the video of the players in the bottom right, you can see them occasionally just, furrow their brows and shove their hands into their palms. It's a hard one.
See the stress in their face. I'm glad they can't hear us. That's for sure. So 2 minutes to go, and Timothy's done a little bit more, but Andrew's still way ahead. Jakub is holding on to the lead, and Stevenson is down on 403. Still done really well. All 4 of them are doing really, really well, but with less than 2 minutes to go. What just happened there? Okay, right.
So I'm guessing he copied his points across, and there was a slight improvement. And I think Stevenson's doing the same thing as well, where he's making tweaks to his formula and then copying it in, and then watching what happens to it. Right? It goes up, it goes down.
Trying it out.
Yeah.
Trying anything at this stage.
Mm-hmm. Well, a minute to go. I'm wondering if the ram between is going to get busted out, but I think the gap of points is probably a little bit too wide to reach.
We haven't seen the round between yet on this competition.
No, that's right. Although I'm getting a note from one of the organizers that Andrew is apparently trying random numbers for the bonus question 3. So I wonder if he's going to get there.
Yeah. All right, so less than a minute. We are counting down. So it looks as if, I hate to call it, but I'm going to call it, looks like Andrew and Jakub are going to Vegas. Unless something happens in the next 30 seconds, I think that is how it's going to be.
Oh, Stevenson's trying a couple of things.
Oh.
He's getting there. 450.
Oh, no,
450.
back down again. Oh.
Oh, you know what he's doing? I think he is round betweening, and he's refreshing it to try and get as many scores as possible.
Oh my goodness.
That cheeky fellow.
Now I've seen everything. All right, 5 seconds to go, and we'll 3, 2, 1, and it's over. It is over. Wow. Okay. So it looks like we've got Andrew.
1,215 points. He
there.
did guess his bonus question 3 in the end, by the looks of it.
Yeah, yeah. Andrew, we called it, but yeah, looks like we really did expect big things from Andrew, and he did deliver for sure.
Mhm.
Timothy still did really well, put up a really good fight, and Jakob did well. Yeah, with those, I think those bonus questions really helped there. And Stevenson, they all did really, really well. Such a great game. Such stiff competition between all of them.
That's right. Why don't we head over and have a chat to the players?
Wow. Hey guys. Well done. Well done.
What a battle.
What a game.
Andrew, congratulations on scoring the first 1,000-point victory over tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
So you busted out the old brute force method again, did you, Andrew?
The proof, for the pairs, yeah.
What was going through your mind?
I just thought it would be easier just to list out every combination of the pairs, because there aren't that many. And by the time I can think of a, I guess formulaic way to do it, I've probably listed them all out anyway. So yeah, that was the main one which I sort of brute forced.
Yeah. Well done.
Timothy, a good score, but came up against some fierce opposition tonight.
Yeah, I think card games quite aren't my thing, but yeah, congrats to Andrew. Showed tonight why he is the 2-time world champion.
Exactly. It was a tough game, Timothy. It looked like it wasn't too hard, but it was quite difficult. Jakob, well done. How does it feel?
A bit unreal still that I am advancing, but yeah, the case was I had some problems, especially with the bonus questions, and yeah, I couldn't think of a way to have all of the combinations for the 15s. Yeah, so I did it manually, but yeah, it was a tough case.
Well, it clearly paid off. You did well, and you are going to Vegas.
Yeah, seems like it.
Stevenson, well done. How are you feeling?
Tired. I have no idea what cribbage is.
Yeah. I don't know. Has anybody played cribbage before? Do we have anybody that had an advantage by knowing the game? Did anyone know it?
No.
Nobody. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I wasn't too familiar with it either. Well
Stevenson,
done,
can I ask? We saw your score numbers bouncing around near the end as you were jumping between 393 and 451 and 415.
Right. I was using ran between.
Fair enough.
It was. We figured that. Yeah.
Oh well, it was a good effort by everyone. Congratulations to Andrew and Jakob in particular. You guys are going to be competing in Vegas in the next battle round. So congratulations on making it through the last 16 and joining what will become the last 16 over in Vegas. So for those who aren't aware, the last 8, the folks who managed to get through the last 16 round, like Andrew and Jakob, are going to be heading to Vegas, and they will be competing against people in the last chance qualification. Is that what it was called?
Yes.
That's it. So in the last chance qualification, people who are attending the Active Cell conference over there are invited to participate in a what I think is a free-for-all, and the top 8 are essentially going to be
They get
picked.
another chance.
Yeah, and they will be competing against the top 8 from these brackets. So, Andrew,
we've still got
congratulations on
one
remaking
more-
it to the top 16.
Yeah, one more round will happen later on today. So this is the morning session. There's going to be an evening session. So we've still got the rest of the competitors to go head to head, and a total of 8 will make it to Vegas, and they'll be up against the last chance people as well, and they will be in the finals.
So why don't we head over to the brackets then?
Yeah, our brackets are ready.
So there we see, make it to the quarterfinals, Andrew and Jakob.
Yeah. Wow.
And I think there should be one more person on the other side who's also made it as well. So between Edwin and Michael Clark, our 6th seed in the competition, has also made it across.
So that 6 behind Michael's name means that he had pre-qualified based on other competitions. I'm not sure if it's the Financial Modelling World Cup or other esports competitions that he's competed in. And Andrew Nye as well had a number after his number 1, I think. So that's what those numbers mean.
Alrighty. Well, what a battle that was.
That was amazing.
I'm so glad to see 1,000+ score. I mean, I was nervous early on with these with the lower scores and people struggling, but Andrew pulled that one out of a hat, didn't he?
You just don't know. You don't know what the scores are going to be. You know, when we see the cases, we might think, oh, this one's not too hard, and then you know, because we're not doing it under time pressure, and it's hard to tell, you know, how long. I think most people compete better under pressure. Some people don't, but you know, just having somebody, I can't imagine what it must be like to have all these people watching your screen. It just adds that extra layer of pressure. So for everyone that went on the live stream, so well done. It was fantastic, and real kudos to you for doing it. So was there anything else we needed to mention? Basically, we have a handful of people who are going to Vegas. Very exciting. Was there anything else we needed to mention, Tim?
Well, I guess the events that week, like all in all, in the US are great. So even before the actual Vegas competition, the finals themselves, we also have the collegiate championship as well. That's I think the week before, on the 2nd of December. We have the Active Cell conference beforehand, and you were listing off some of the presenters who are going to be running that conference. So that's a really exciting experience for everyone who can make it there.
Yeah, not only you know, hearing from these speakers, but networking and just getting inside the minds of some of these top competitors is going to be really interesting. So it's going to be a fantastic event. And well done to the organisers for pulling it off. It's not easy to pull together an event like this with people all over the world, and having it in person now is just amazing, and it's going to be incredible to be in that huge arena. XL Esports is definitely just become such a popular event.
Absolutely. Well, I think that probably wraps it up for the stream, doesn't it, Danielle? Thank you for hosting with me. It's been a pleasure as always.
Tim. It's a pleasure as always. Until next time. Okay. Bye, everyone.
All right. Take care.